Hey guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. But in case this is the first time you're stopping by, my name is Gina and I'm a wife and mother from the Midwest, and I enjoy cooking fresh meals for my family, and sometimes I make videos of my recipes and I post them up here on YouTube. Today I'm going to be giving you my recipe for chili mac. Here in the Midwest, as soon as it gets a little bit colder, you get that fall chill in the air. I always tend to, and a lot of my friends and people I know tend to start inching closer to those comfort food dishes. My videos are a little bit sparse over the summer because I do tend to eat much healthier, and I'm not going to really make videos of salads because it's pretty easy to throw stuff in a bowl. But now that the weather has taken a turn for the colder side of the spectrum, be prepared for lots of delicious comfort food coming your way, guys. So today this recipe is super easy. You probably have a majority of the ingredients already in your pantry, and if you don't, I will be mentioning which items can be substituted for other pantry items. And I guess that's all I have to say with that. So let's go ahead and jump into our ingredients. So first and foremost, we need some ground beef or ground turkey. You could use either or. And then I'm going to be using ground sirloin, which is super lean, so 90% lean, 10% fat. I'm going to be using some beef stock, but if you don't have beef stock, you can feel free to use beef broth, or to use like the beef Norsuisa or beef bouillon cubes, and go ahead and reconstitute them and substitute that for the amount of liquid we're going to use. We're going to need diced tomatoes and tomato sauce, and this is a 14-ounce can of tomato sauce, or diced tomatoes, and this is let's see if I can read that, an 8-ounce can, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So you could technically sub that out for like a 20-some-odd ounce can of crushed tomatoes for the both if you happen to have that. We're going to be using some dark red kidney beans. Use any kind of bean you like. Some oil to fry up our meat. And then we're going to use an onion and some fresh garlic. You can feel free to... I don't know why I'm telling you all the substitutions now. Anyways, this will be my last thing that I mentioned, probably. You can feel free to substitute those out for dried spices if that's all you have. And then I'm going to be using ditalini because that's what I had in the pantry. Again, feel free to use whatever pasta you want and adjust the cooking time according to that. And then we're keeping the seasonings pretty simple. We're going to be doing some chili powder, some cumin, and some salt and pepper. So as easy as it can be. We've got, beans, carb, meat, veggies, and we're ready to go. This will make a warm and filling meal in a bowl. To kick it up a notch, I guess, if you will. Because apparently I'm like Emerald today. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make a little Pico de Gallo on the side. So I'll pull out another onion. I'm not going to film that because it's not really part of the recipe. You can feel free to top it with whatever you want, but I'm going to be making pico, and then I've got some extra sharp cheddar, and then I will pull out some sour cream to serve it with as well. So feel free to understand that these ingredients can be substituted with whatever you and your family want on top. Like crunched up Fritos is pretty bomb diggity. So let me go ahead and prep our veggies, and I'm going to defrost this in the microwave because I always forget to take my meat out, as you guys know. Be back in a few. Alright guys, so first thing I did was heat up, still a little frozen, about a tablespoon of olive oil in a pan. I'm using like this casserole style of pan because it's going to make everything nice and easy. It has a lid. Make sure that you have enough depth in your pan because we are going to be adding liquid and volume to this. So you don't want to do this in like a frying pan because then it won't be a one-pan dish. I'm going to go ahead and brown off this ground beef. It should take about 5 minutes. And then we will add in our onion, which this is half of that white onion. And this is 2 cloves of garlic. And this is just a, moderate size, normal dice, and a normal mince. I'll be back in just a minute when this is ready to add that stuff in. Alright guys, our ground beef is browned. Now I'm going to go ahead and stir in our onion. And then I'm going to add, I actually don't have it pre-measured, so I'm just going to do it by hand after I pause this. About a half of a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper to this mix. And our garlic is still out here to the side because, in case you haven't seen my other videos and you don't know, you don't want to add your garlic and your onion at the same time because they obviously have different cooking rates, and garlic becomes very bitter once it has been burned or overcooked. So whenever a recipe tells you to add garlic and onions at the same time, or with your mirepoix or whatever you're doing, just don't listen to them because they dumb. Be back in a second. All right. Sorry, I have garlic on my finger. Our onions are translucent, so we're gonna go ahead and stir in the remainder of our seasonings, which is our 2 cloves of garlic. And then in regards to the other ones, I've got a tablespoon of chili powder and like a half of a tablespoon, so a teaspoon and a half of just regular old powdered cumin. Go ahead and dump that in. And we're just going to stir fry this for a moment because this wakes up those spices. Because the flavor from spices actually comes from the essential oil that's naturally derived from the plant in which the seed or spice grows, whether it's a pepper or, you know what I mean. So we want to wake up those oils. And I can smell the garlic coming through now. So we want to go ahead and start adding our wet ingredients so we can stop the process of browning in this pan so we don't burn our garlic. So next thing I'm going to add is 4 cups of beef stock. And in case you didn't know, one of these containers is 4 cups, always. And one of these containers is 32 ounces, 32 ounce container. And it seems like a lot of liquid, because it is a lot of liquid, because we are going to be cooking our pasta directly in this pot, everything together. Nice and simple cleanup. Sorry, I don't know why I keep getting all close up on the pot today. I'm just trying to scrape along the bottom to get up any brown bits. The brown bits that form on the bottom of a pan are called fond, F-O-N-D, and it's a result of your vegetables and or meat or whatever you're cooking browning, leaving traces of flavor in the bottom of the pan. All right, next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add our diced tomatoes. I really don't like cooking with diced tomatoes unless it's for an extended period of time, as some of you know. But that's what I've got in my pantry today, so that's what we're using. So if you really are like me, like you could take these and you could squish them. I just don't like the texture of diced tomatoes all the time. Anyways, so that was a 14-ounce can, or 14.5, whatever it is, of diced tomatoes. And then now I'm adding the tomato sauce. Give that a mix. All right, so now essentially this is our chili part, because we're going to go ahead and add our kidney beans, which have been drained and rinsed. Any kind of bean you want would be fine, literally, but try to keep it in the kidney pinto range. I don't feel like Great Northern beans or cannellini beans would be very good in this, but it wouldn't be terrible either. All right, and then last but not least, I have ditalini today because that's what I have left in my pantry. And you need half of a box of pasta for this recipe, and half of a box meaning 8 ounces, because 8 ounces, 16 ounces is a pound. So we're just gonna go ahead and dump that in there. This is a little bit more probably than a pound, but whatever. All right, get everybody mixed up. We're going to taste this for salt really quick. Always freaks me out. I don't like tasting things when it's like not fully ready to go, but you got to do it. Needs more salt. So I'm going to add like another 1/4 to a half of a teaspoon of salt to this. Hang on, now my camera's dirty. Jeez. To this dish. You can do it based off of your family's taste, because we tend to eat food in our home that is undersalted in comparison to food that I taste that other people cook. So definitely just add whatever you think is right, up to a half of a teaspoon, I would say, in this point. And we're going to go ahead and raise this flame up to medium-high because we want to bring this to a boil before we cover it, and then reduce the heat to a simmer and let it cook for about 15 minutes. So sit tight. I'm going to start prepping my pico, and we'll be back when we're ready to cover that. Alright guys, this has come to a simmer. As you can see, the noodles are already starting to cook, so we're going to give it one last swirl and make sure there's no pasta sticking to the bottom of our pot. We're going to cover it and reduce the heat to, oh geez, I need to clean my stove, to medium low. And we are going to set our timer. Let's focus that for, let's set it for 12 minutes and we'll check it. Oh man. There we go. There we go. All right guys, it has been about 10 minutes and I just wanted to check this because these are ditalini, and the last time I made this, I made it with elbow macaroni, and that took like 15 minutes. And I'm glad I checked it because this is just about done. And we want this to thicken up a little bit, so I didn't want these to be too overcooked. So just be diligent and check, you know, about halfway through and see what's going on with your pasta. And if it's almost, you know, ready to go, then just go ahead and remove the lid. And we're going to raise the heat back up to medium-high. And we're going to let this rapidly boil for about 3 minutes because we want the sauce to thicken up and it to become more of a stew type, chili type texture instead of a soup. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause after I come on over and show you our toppings. So we have sour cream. This is my pico that I made. It's just literally some tomato, an onion, probably in equal parts, 1 jalapeno chopped up, seeded half of it, and then about a handful of cilantro minced up, juice of 2 limes, and then some salt and pepper. That's all that Pico de Gallo is. So we're gonna put this and some cheese on top. It's gonna be delicious, and I will be back when this is ready. Oh, little side tip too, I mentioned this in a lot of my videos. I save the grocery bags that you get that everybody hates. I know I'm like one of those people who doesn't bring reusable bags to the grocery store. Sorry, that's not who I am. But I do save all of them, and I use them for every single time I prepare a meal. I just go ahead and I toss my garbage in there, and that way I'm able to get it to the garbage in one lump sum, because unfortunately your girl doesn't have a garbage disposal. So I'll be back. Okay guys, this is the finished product. I let it simmer for 2 or 3 minutes, as I'd mentioned, and as you can see, it's thickened up nicely. I'm going to let this sit here to cool. You can go ahead and, if you want to, add some cheese on top of this and then like stir it in, like let it melt, which is actually way more delicious. But I am watching my calories as usual, so I'm not going to put that extra cheesy goodness in there. But if I was you, I would do it. But see, this gravy is much thicker now. And that's thanks to the carbs, or excuse me, the starch from the pasta cooking directly in the water. Also a good time to taste it for salt before you add your cheese and your toppings. I'm waiting for my father-in-law and my husband to get home, and then we will serve this up and do a taste test. Maybe you guys will even get a taste test in Spanish for my father-in-law. He's here from Mexico. Anyways, I'll be back, guys. Alright guys, so here is our finished product. I topped it with some cheddar cheese, Pico de Gallo, and some sour cream. And Daniel is finally home, and my father-in-law is here from Mexico. Dile hola a mi canal. Él es mi suegro. ¿Te gusta? ¿Sí? ¿Sí? No? He doesn't know what we're saying.
No, me pregunta que si está rico.
Ah, sí está rico.
Sí. Okay, and Daniel, what do you have to say?
Lo voy a probar.
Hot? You like it?
It's really good.
Okay, guys, so simple entry.
Something different.
Different, right?
It's really good.
Oh, you want to say bye too? Olivia and Fifi, who have dressed themselves, want to say bye today. So, anyways, thanks so much for. Hey, Fifi.
So good.
But you didn't eat it, so how do you know if it's so good? You like your ham sandwich? Yeah? Okay. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video for Simple Pantry Chili Mac. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you loved it, please subscribe. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye.